Hi Year 3, welcome back to another part of Mouse Bird Snake Wolf. We're almost at the end. I have Jessie with me again today and we're just going to have a quick recap of what happened last time. So the wolf had finally woken up and it ran straight for Harry and Sue and it gobbled them up. And do you remember that gobbled meant that it's eaten them really, really fast? So it might have been rushing whilst doing it and making a lot of noise. Now, Ben is still up the tree and he said, "What a weird, peculiar thing." So today we're going to find out what happens next. I'm thinking maybe Ben tries to rescue them somehow. So let's find out. He climbed down from the tree. Gently he touched the wolf. It was such a mighty thing, and he was little Ben, so small. He stared at the wolf and he wondered. He stared into himself and he wondered. He looked up at the god looking down and he wondered. "What can I do?" he asked. The god shrugged and said, "I did warn them, you know." "Can I make it go back again?" called Ben. The god stared into the sky. This was all very tiring and it would soon be time for tea and cakes. "Can I unmake things as well as make them?" shouted Ben. "Can I turn the wolf back into clay and sticks and petals and nuts and grass?" The god yawned. "You don't know, do you?" yelled Ben. "Do you?" The god rolled over and closed his eyes. Little Ben stamped his feet. "Turn back again, wolf," he said. Nothing happened. "Turn back again, wolf," he cried. "Come on, little Ben," he said to himself. "Try harder." He tried to feel as a god feels when he is unmaking things. He tried to feel as a wolf feels when it is being unmade. He tried to feel like clay and wool and sticks and stones and petals and nuts and grass. "Turn back again, wolf," he cried. "Turn back again, wolf! Turn back again, wolf!" And as he watched, the wolf began to turn back, and it turned into clay and wool and sticks and stones and petals and nuts and grass. And lying in the middle, fast asleep, were Harry and Sue. Can you see them just here? "Thank goodness," sighed Ben, little Ben. He touched his friends. "Wake up," he whispered. "It's time to go home." And Harry and Sue sat up and yawned and stretched. They stepped out from the thing that had been the wolf. "I think we've made enough for now," said little Ben. "Don't you?" Harry and Sue nodded. "I think we should go home now," said little Ben. "Don't you?" Harry and Sue nodded again. They were silent. They had been inside their wolf. Now their wolf was inside them, like a dream. Can you see just here? They felt it running through them. They heard it howling and snarling deep inside them. Ben took their hands and pulled them away. They ran homewards quickly, through the fields and the woods and the empty spaces, across that lovely, strange, unfinished world. They were watched by a tiny mouse hunched in the grass, by a lovely bird that soared in the sky, by a flickery snake from a little dark hole, and by the gods above, who were now beginning to stir and wake. Okay, so we're going to stop there for now. Just as before, your questions will pop up on your screen and you can have a go answering them. Right, so we're going to answer our Vipers questions. Our first one is an inference question. So that means it's coming, you're using clues from the text to help you answer it. And that question is, how do you think Ben feels when the wolf turns back? So if we remember, Ben is trying really, really hard to get the wolf to turn back, and eventually it does turn back and he manages to rescue Harry and Sue. And he says, "Thank goodness," sighed little Ben. So because the author has used the word sighed, I think that Ben is feeling really relieved that he's managed to rescue both Harry and Sue. So he might be feeling quite thankful that they're safe and pleased with himself that he's managed to do it. Now, our next question is a retrieval question. So that's coming directly from the text. And it is, find one thing that Harry, Sue and Ben are watched by. Now, that's on the last page. I will just read it to you. They were watched by a tiny mouse, a lovely bird, a flickering snake, and by the gods above. So if you named one of those 4 things, so mouse, bird, snake, or gods. Okay, so you could have had one of those 4 things. And our last question is a vocabulary one. And it's find a word that means the same as flew. And that again is on our last page. So, a lovely bird that soared in the sky. So that word soared means the same as flew. The bird is flying in the sky. It soared. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so that's it for today. Our last session will be our final one on Mouse, Bird, Snake, Wolf. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll give you a sneak preview of the next page. And we will continue that next time. Thank you for listening.